Shares of Nike, they are lower today after an embarrassing incident for the company that took place on national television. One of its sneakers literally fell apart during a game.
And he just his leg went out from underneath him. He just grabbed the back of his leg. He's walking off under his own power.
Back in 1984, Michael Jordan made a move that changed everything. Instead of Adidas, he signed with Nike, and that single choice birthed the entire sneaker culture in the NBA. From the first Air Jordans to Kobe's smooth silhouettes to LeBron's billion-dollar empire, the swoosh became basketball royalty. But somewhere along the line, that empire started to crack. One freak accident wiped $1.1 billion off Nike's stock overnight, and that was just the beginning. Slowly, the biggest stars in the league began walking away, pulling out of contracts, dropping signature lines, and taking control of their own brands.
Free fall after they missed on revenue last night and cut their full-year earnings guidance. The shares down 20% are on pace for their worst day ever.
Stock is cut in half since the all-time high in November of 2021. Like, what's happening? Is competition eating their lunch?
But to understand why, we got to rewind to the rise and fall of another giant, Adidas. See, Adidas once had the greatest basketball prospect alive and blew it. They refused to give him the same respect they showed European athletes. Then Nike swooped in and made history by signing Michael Jordan, a deal that made sneakers more than shoes. They became symbols of culture, power, and identity. Kobe redefined performance with his low tops, while LeBron built a fortune rocking the swoosh.
I never wore Nike shoes until I signed a Nike contract. All through college, we wore Converse. And up to that point, my favorite shoe was an Adidas shoe.
For decades, Nike was the dream. But the new generation, they're louder, faster, and not afraid to call the shots. The game and the culture flipped. Oh, and before we go deeper into this story, don't forget to hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what comes next. Back in the 90s, kids were camping outside malls just to grab a pair of Jordans. Fast forward to the 2020s, and now a rookie can post a pic of his kicks on Instagram, rack up millions of likes, and sell out overnight. Players started realizing they didn't need Nike's stamp anymore. Once you've got fans locked in, you can sell straight to them. Nike tried to fight back, dropping massive launches and riding on legacy hype, but the wave had already started turning, and that first major shakeup, Kyrie Irving.
My old products and old technology that I've had, but now moving to Anta and seeing what they're capable of, and they really came through.
Kyrie's partnership was gold for Nike. His Kyrie 1s, 4s, they weren't just hits, they were everywhere. At one point, his sneakers were the second best sellers in the entire league, only behind LeBron. But then things started falling apart. The injuries, the trades, the drama, and of course, that time he publicly called one of Nike's shoes trash. Then came 2022, and when one controversial tweet blew everything up, Nike cut him off instantly, thinking that was the end, but it wasn't. Kyrie didn't fade away. He bounced back stronger. The man with the coldest handles in the game turned that fallout into a full-blown redemption arc. Even after Nike dropped him, NBA players and even kids hooping at local parks kept rocking those Kyrie 4s. That's when it hit everyone. Kyrie's brand was bigger than the swoosh itself. His fans didn't care who made the shoes, they cared about him. And when he signed with Anta, it proved that superstars could thrive without Nike's backing. That was the first crack in the empire. The next, Ja Morant. In 2023, Ja dropped his first signature shoe, the Ja 1. In bright neon colorways, with wild promo everywhere. Fans were hyped, stores were packed, and it looked like Nike had found their next superstar. But then, everything flipped. In March 2023, Ja flashed a firearm on Instagram Live. Chaos erupted across the league. He got hit with an 8-game suspension, and everyone expected Nike to cut him loose just like Kyrie. But they didn't. They stood behind him, quietly. Then came strike 2. Just months later, another clip dropped. Another gun, another scandal. This time, the league handed down a 25-game suspension, and Ja's image fell apart. Yet somehow Nike still backed him, releasing the Ja 2 and Ja 3, which sold out instantly. It worked, but it split the fan base in half. And hey, if you're into the real stories behind the sneakers, don't forget to subscribe right now. Fans were split right down the middle. Some praised Nike for standing behind a young star learning from his mistakes, while others blasted them for rewarding reckless behavior.
Has fallen behind. And I think that's illustrative of the fact that they've had a bit of a lull when it comes to innovation.
Either way, one thing became clear. This isn't the same Nike that dropped Kyrie without blinking. This was a brand desperate to hold on to their stars, even if it meant risking their image in controversy. But drama isn't the only thing shaking up the Swoosh's world. Just look at Zion Williamson. Nike signed Zion in 2019 before he even played a single NBA game, locking him in as the supposed next LeBron. The Zion one was hyped as the future of basketball shoes, and for a moment, it actually felt that way. But then came that moment, the freak incident that wiped out $1.1 billion of Nike's value overnight. Still, Nike refused to give up. They pushed out the Zion 2 and 3 with flashy campaigns and bold promises. But the injuries never stopped. The knees, the feet, the conditioning, it all caught up. Zion spent more time courtside than on the court, and the hype quietly faded away. Nike wanted another LeBron, but what they got looked more like Greg Oden with better ads. Zion's downfall didn't just hurt Nike's pockets, it crushed their credibility. The momentum completely shifted, and social media made sure everyone saw it. Suddenly, authenticity mattered more than legacy. Players didn't just want to wear the swoosh anymore. They wanted ownership, equity, and creative control. And the first to lead this new wave? Anthony Edwards. This twist wasn't supposed to happen. Ant played college ball at Georgia, a Nike-sponsored school which basically guaranteed he'd sign with them. But Adidas made the first move, and they bagged him. His debut sneaker, the AE1, exploded onto the scene. Low tops, wild colorways, and a style that screamed personality. Then came others like Scoot Henderson, who signed with Puma, proving the power was shifting for real. But the shocker came when Jaylen Brown turned down a $50 million deal from Nike to launch his own player-owned brand, 741 Performance. His first sneaker, the Rover, dropped in early 2025 and sold out instantly. Fans weren't just buying shoes anymore, they were buying freedom. Nike suddenly found itself not just fighting Adidas or Puma, but the players themselves. These stars didn't want to wear the crown. They wanted to own it. Sure, Nike still has Jordan, LeBron, and a legacy that shaped basketball forever. But here's the thing, the new generation doesn't care about history. They live in the now. So where did Nike lose its touch? They used to lock in every superstar and keep them for life. Now, they can still sign the best, but they can't keep them. Crazy part is, even Michael Jordan almost walked away once. Nike had to go all out, hosting a shoe design contest that discovered Tinker Hatfield, the genius who created the iconic Air Jordans. But today's Nike doesn't have that magic anymore. The biggest disconnect came with Kobe Bryant. Kobe's sneakers were religion in the league. Even after retirement, over 100 players, from Devin Booker to Anthony Davis, laced up his Kobe's every game. His line stood for work ethic, precision, and excellence. Kobe was the bridge between the old Nike and the new NBA. But then came 2020, when the world lost Kobe. It didn't just break hearts, it broke Nike's emotional link to the game. When his deal expired in 2021, Kobe's shoes vanished from shelves and fans were furious. Prices shot through the roof, collectors went crazy, and Nike's image took another hit. Eventually, they renewed the deal with Vanessa Bryant, and the Kobes came roaring back to dominate the market again. But that wave wouldn't last forever, and if you want to know how it all started falling apart again, hit that subscribe button right now. Without Kobe himself, every new release felt like an echo. Powerful, but missing that soul. Players still rocked his shoes, but deep down, everyone knew the real Mamba mentality was gone. And that's when the truth hit. Nike had no new torchbearer. Zion was supposed to be it. Ja was supposed to be it. Kyrie was supposed to be it. But none of them carried that legacy forward. And if that wasn't bad enough, Nike went and repeated the same mistake Adidas once made with Jordan, this time with Stephen Curry. Back in 2013, when Curry's Nike deal expired.
They're like building something from scratch, taking a chance to put my fingerprint on a brand from the ground up and have a company that was going to kind of invest behind me. That was a huge opportunity.
He wasn't the megastar he is today, and Nike treated him like he didn't matter. During a pitch meeting in Oakland, executives mispronounced his name as Stefan, and even left Kevin Durant's name on the PowerPoint slides from another presentation. Total disrespect. Curry walked out knowing he was done. Then Under Armour stepped in, offering $4 million, almost double what Nike was giving him, and Curry signed immediately. What happened next? Curry's shoes exploded, driving a 64% surge in Under Armour's footwear sales, $264 million in just 1 quarter of 2016. Now there are whispers of a lifetime deal worth over $1 billion. And honestly, don't be shocked if one day Under Armour becomes the new Nike. Because 2025 hasn't been kind to the swoosh, not one bit. By 2025, Nike was scrambling for answers. In a panic move, they rushed back onto Amazon after years of pushing direct-to-consumer sales. But while they were busy plugging holes, their rivals were feasting. Adidas surged, Puma stacked up new stars, and New Balance doubled down on Kawhi. The swoosh wasn't just losing market share, it was losing culture. They tried to fight back by flooding the market with Jordan retros, but that was the problem. While Nike kept living in the past, their competitors were creating the future. Adidas gave Anthony Edwards full creative freedom. Kyrie took over design at Anta, and Puma let Scoot Henderson shape his own line. That's what authenticity looks like today. Now, the truth's undeniable. Players don't need Nike anymore. Nike needs them. Once upon a time, the swoosh crowned basketball's kings, from Jordan's airtime to Kobe's precision to LeBron's domination. But the crown's slipping. Kyrie rebelled, Zion stumbled, Ja's chaos cracked the image, and in their place, Edwards, Scoot, Kawhi, and Jaylen Brown built their own empires. The players don't bow to Nike now. They own their thrones. If Nike doesn't adapt fast, that legendary swoosh could fade into the past. And speaking of the future, have you noticed something different about LeBron this season? Oh, you're gonna wanna see this. Hit that subscribe button right now, and I'll catch you in the next video.